All right, picture this. You've just come across something totally new. Maybe it's a tricky math formula, the basics of computer coding, or the science behind how plants make their own food through photosynthesis. You're curious, maybe even a little intimidated, but you're ready to dive in. So you start by skimming a few articles online, maybe you watch a quick explainer video, and you think to yourself, yeah, I get it, this makes sense. But here's the real question. Do you actually understand it, or are you just familiar with the words? Here's the genius trick that completely changed the way I learn anything new. I grab a piece of paper, a pen, and I challenge myself to explain the idea as if I'm teaching it to someone who's hearing it for the very first time. No shortcuts, no jargon, just clear, simple language. Let's break down how this works and why it's so powerful. As soon as you have even a rough idea of your topic, don't just keep reading or watching and passively soaking up information. That's a trap. Instead, pause for a moment. Pull out your notebook and start writing. This is where the magic begins. Now, pretend your audience is a total beginner. They know absolutely nothing about the topic, not even the basic buzzwords or common phrases. How would you break it down for them in the simplest, clearest language possible? Imagine you're talking to a younger sibling, or even your past self before you knew anything about this subject. As I do this, I quickly spot the gaps in my own understanding. Suddenly, I realize there are parts I can't explain, or I stumble over a definition that seemed obvious just a minute ago. Maybe I get stuck trying to describe how something works, or I can't quite remember why a certain step is necessary. That's not a failure, it's actually a huge win. That's gold. Those are the exact spots where I need to go back, dig deeper, and really focus my attention. It's like having a personal roadmap to mastering the topic. At this stage, I don't worry about making my notes look pretty or organized. The goal isn't to create a perfect summary, it's to get my thoughts out of my head and onto the page. I scribble messy diagrams, draw arrows to connect ideas, and jot down questions in the margins like, why does this happen? Or, what's a real-world example of this? The messier the better, it means I'm really thinking. If I can't answer one of my own questions or if I get confused, that's my cue to go back to the source material and review that section a bit more. It's a feedback loop that keeps me honest about what I know. This back-and-forth process turns passive reading into active learning. Instead of just absorbing information, I'm engaging with it, wrestling with it, and making it my own. The real magic here is simple. When you force yourself to explain something, you're not just memorizing facts, you're actually teaching yourself. You're building a deeper, more lasting understanding. This method is called the Feynman Technique, named after the legendary physicist Richard Feynman. It's how some of the world's best thinkers and scientists mastered even the toughest subjects, from quantum physics to philosophy. I'm not just copying notes from a textbook or a video, I'm figuring out what I truly know and what I only think I know. It's a reality check that keeps me honest and helps me grow. And the best part? You don't need an audience. You don't need a classroom, a teacher, or even a study group. You're both the teacher and the student. You can do this alone, in your room, at your desk, or even while taking a walk and talking out loud to yourself. If you can break down a complex idea so clearly that even a total newbie would get it, you've truly mastered the concept. That's the ultimate test of understanding. So next time you're learning something new, whether it's for school, work, or just for fun, don't just read or watch. Take the extra step and explain it. Write it out in your own words, talk it through out loud, or pretend you're teaching a friend who's totally clueless about the topic. The more you practice, the easier it gets. You'll be amazed at how quickly your understanding deepens and how much more confident you feel tackling new subjects. So give it a try. Grab that pen, open your notebook, and start explaining. You might just unlock a level of genius you never knew you had. Thanks for watching, and happy learning. Remember, the best teacher you'll ever have is yourself.